Hi everybody, it's Sarah with Coffee Knits with Sarah, and on today's episode we're going to be diving into what's currently on my knitting needles and what's coming up and what needs to be done by the end of the year, because the holidays are approaching fast and my baby gift knitting mojo is in full swing, and I have a lot to talk about today because it's been a whole month. There's my daughter. It's been a whole month since we've last really talked about anything. Please pause. We're still recording? Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. My youngest daughter is home with me today. My oldest is at preschool, and we're trying something new where she's having some independent playtime and mom's trying to work, aka film this podcast episode. So she's listening to her sister's Yoto box. K-pop Demon Hunters is currently in heavy rotation here, and she's drawing and reading and entertaining herself for however long it takes me to film this episode. Where were we? I think I had just done the intro. So let's get into it. So the last time we chatted, we were talking about Rhinebeck, and I just wanted to say thank you if you watched that video for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I really had a lot of fun putting that video together, and when I talked to my husband about editing that video, I was just nitpicking all the things because I think there's just so much, like I said, so many other people who go to Rhinebeck and film videos, and it's hard not to compare when you're a podcaster, or at least when you're a newbie like me, to other people. And my husband said this really beautiful thing that kind of will stick with me, which is I'm doing this podcasting for myself, but also for my kids, to someday be able to look back on their mom's knitting passion and what I've done in my life. And so it's a good kind of journal or documentation of me in this time in our lives as a family. And so it doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be real. And I could go on, but I just really loved that he said that to me, because I am kind of a person who likes to be really organized and like on top of things and cross my T's and dot my I's. And as a mom, I don't get to do that all the time. I have a lot of other balls that I'm juggling and that I'm trying to figure out. And sometimes what I want isn't fulfilled in the way that I want it to be, I guess. Like I don't know. We'll end there. I just don't get to like spend as much time knitting or editing my podcasts, or, like my day is not solely my own, is what I'm trying to say. I have 2 little girls who I'm watching, and I love them, and I really should just like stop talking about this because this is not knitting related, and maybe I'll edit it out. So anywho, let's get into what I'm wearing and my first finished object, and then what I'm working on. So what I'm wearing right now is the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. This is actually the first sweater. I'll probably insert a picture or two. This is the first sweater I knit for myself when I got back into knitting. And I started this, I have Ravelry pulled up. I started this in 2019. And I finished it in 2020. So I started in September, ended in April. This is knit in Malabrigo Rios in the color Pines. It's this really beautiful green. And I did not alternate my skeins. So there is, like it's darker up top and lighter down at the bottom. But that's part of the beauty of learning and growing as a knitter. I do really love this sweater, even though there's like that color shift happening. It's a little tight in the neckline here, but again, it was my first sweater that I knit and I adore it. So highly recommend the pattern if you're needing like a classic staple sweater in your wardrobe. Then I wanted to chat about my first finished object. So I went back to pre-Rhinebeck to know where I was at, and I had just finished my rock formation shawl and I was getting into gift knitting. So that's really what a lot of this episode will be about. And I had picked out yarn for this next project and I finished it. It just took me 1 month, the month of September, and it is the Frankie sweater by PetiteKnit. Isn't it cute? So I chose to knit this in Barocco Vintage, and the colors, I mean, there's a lot of colors. Maybe I will insert the colors in the description box below. But as you can see, we have this really fun green and pink and tealy blue and purple, yellow, red, light blue, and then it repeats. I really enjoyed knitting this. This is my first true like baby garment. Like I've knit a baby hat for my daughter. I've knit sweatshirts for my daughter as a toddler, but I've not knit something this tiny that goes over a baby's body. And it was really quick to knit up. Like I said, I knit it in a month, and I really like the construction. It's the raglan sleeve increases, lots of ends to weave in, as you can imagine. The detail at the bottom is just this 1x1 ribbing here, and then a rolled kind of hem. And I did the same here for the sleeves. And this is going to be sent to my friends in Maryland who just gave birth to a little baby girl. And I am just really excited to send this to them. And if you're watching, Joe and Liz, this is coming to you. I told them I was knitting something for them, so they know. I knit them a really beautiful baby blanket when their oldest was born, and I thought long and hard about if I should knit them another baby blanket or something else, but then she actually told me that the baby blanket I knit for their oldest, they are using again for their little girl in the nursery. And don't cry, Sarah, that just, yeah, that's just like the power of knitting, like that it's an heirloom piece and that they cherish it and that their little girl now gets to use it. So I'm glad I didn't knit a blanket, because my first blanket that I knit for them is still getting loved and used. So that is my Frankie sweater for their baby. That's gonna go in the mail this week. The other thing I wanted to share is also, we're gonna move into like WIPs, works in progress. The other thing I'm knitting is also knit up in Barocco Vintage. And you might have seen me working on this on Instagram if you follow me over there. But it is the Sweet Shop Baby Blanket by Laura Penrose. Oh, can you see the whole thing? I'm using the same colors that I used in the Frankie sweater, but I did substitute a few out. So let me pull the sweater back up. I had leftover yarn, as I'm sure you can imagine, from the striped sweater, quite a bit of it. So I thought that this blanket would be great for my other close friends who are expecting a baby in January. And what I did is all the colors are the same except for this purple is darker and this yellow is darker, instead of this really light yellow from here and this very light purple. I didn't do the light blue from this one. I kind of simplified the baby blanket. So it'll just be a repeating 1, 4, 6 color repeat. So we have the green, the pink, the tealy blue, the purple, the golden yellow, and then the red. And then that just repeats. And it's going to be a 4x6 crib sized blanket approximately. If you're not familiar with the pattern, you just knit each square and pick up the stitches as you go. There's no seaming at the end or anything. Like, you don't knit each square and then seam it together at the end, which I know is a very popular method. And I've knit a baby blanket before. Like I just said, I've knit a few. Actually, I think I've knit 4. And this is the first one that I've done with this kind of construction. For my daughters, I knit, let me see if I can pull it up. I knit a Pearl Soho baby blanket that, where is it? Of course. Did I not put it in here? No, I definitely put it in here. Okay, here it is. The Super Easy Baby Blanket in the Base Morning by Pearl Soho. And it was just a striped blanket. So you would knit one skein and then add in another one and add in another one. It's a very simple construction, and but beautiful nonetheless. I'm enjoying these little squares quite a bit. They are giving me trouble because I'm probably forgetting to do an increase, and then I'm like off by a stitch here and there, but that's what I get for watching TV or listening to audiobooks, which is my go-to while I knit, is that I might have a little missed stitch here and there. But yeah, here's the back with all my ends. I'm trying to weave in as I go, but that's not always happening. I'm going to pick up the stitches around the edge and do the border, which is a suggestion in the pattern, but not a necessity, just because, like I said, I am kind of off here and there with my stitch count. So like right here, I feel like this is just not as clean as I would like it to be versus this. I think this is a really clean edge right here and right here. So I don't know. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful and loved. And I just heard my daughter, I think, drop a book in the room next door. So this is the baby blanket that I'm chugging along through, hoping to get it done by Christmas so that it can go in the mail and be here before their baby is born. But we'll see. I'm also knitting these cute little socks for them, and it's the Cozy Toes pattern by Judy, Kaethler, and I'm knitting these in leftover, let's see, I wrote a tag on it, O Wool, O Wash Fingering Color, Kreshim Creek. So I'm knitting this really pretty, almost similar to what my sweater is right now, this greeny teal. And here's the baby sock. It's so cute. Okay, so here's the heel. And then, oh gosh, I hope it's focusing. I need to start doing the decreases and then the foot of the sock. But it's just a lot of like 2x2 ribbing right here. And then I will just knit the foot of the sock, and then I gotta do the second sock. My thought is that these will be these will go with the baby blanket because my friend's husband, I mean, they're both my friends, but he is a big Eagles football fan. And I think this color kind of reminds me of that Eagles green. And so, yeah, I wanted to knit little baby socks, which if you are a subscriber, you know, small circumference knitting needles is not my thing, but I am doing, as you can see, I've got my really long knitting needles and we're doing good. It's not that bad. And it's a small, cute little project. So I'm enjoying it. And I'm using my little new project bag that was gifted to me. All right, let me check my notes here. So we've talked about that. We've talked about that. The other baby knitting thing on my agenda is a gift for my niece or nephew that's due in January as well. Everyone's like November to January time. I still am deciding on what to knit, and I do appreciate all of you who sent some suggestions to me in my last episode of gift knits. Someone recently told me about these little like knit monsters that are really cute, or like a knit dinosaur. My sister-in-law loves dinosaurs. I hear my daughter. Yes? Where was I? Oh yes, my sister-in-law is a big Jurassic Park dinosaur fan. And so I think maybe a dinosaur would be really cute to knit her. I want to knit a stuffy, like a stuffed animal, because my niece, I knit her a stuffed animal. And so I think it'd be cute to, if they each got a stuffed animal. Anywho, that's still like, I gotta figure that out. So that is happening. It is happening. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cast that on soon. I cast this on last night. The most recent whip. Yes, Olivia.
You've been it twice for that.
I'll be right back. I'm back. She needed to put water in her water bottle and needed help untwisting the water bottle. My independent girls. Apologies for all the interruptions. I've been asked how I do it, and usually I film these episodes when my husband's home. So yeah, I am trying, like I said, trying something new today. Okay, I cast this on last night. I think if you watched my Rhinebeck episode, you know I got this yarn for my eldest daughter's hat. I also got this hot pink yarn from my youngest, who keeps knocking on my door. No. Okay, after I'm done, I will help you fill up Helen's water. Wait for me to be done. Okay, thank you. Okay. This is for this one who keeps knocking on my door. But I cast on Helen's hat, and this is in Explore Knits and Fibers, Rocky's DK, in the color Heirloom. It's 100% superwash merino. It's a really fun red. It's her favorite color, and it's really fun to knit with this yarn. I decided to cast on the Soda Pop Beanie by Sari Nordlund, mostly because my kids like K-pop Demon Hunters, and this was like inspired. The name of it was inspired by Soda Pop, which is one of the songs in the movie. And I love Sari Nordlund and got to meet her in Rhinebeck. So anyways, this is the hat. So what I got so far, it's you cast on at the top and then you do all these increases, and oh my gosh, Sarah, these cords are everywhere. I fudged the cast on because I did not want to do the circular cast on that she wrote in the pattern or something. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do it right for Olivia's, but so far it's going well, and I'm just doing the repeats, like the ribbing of it, until it gets to the right size, and we'll see if it works or not. My goal for both these hats is to have them done by Christmas. So yeah, we'll see. Hold on, Olivia. She wants to fill up her sister's water bottle now. So yeah. And I put these in my cute little bag here that I got in Rhinebeck. What else? Olivia, stop knocking on the door, please. I'll come get you when I'm done, okay? Okay, thanks for being patient. I think that's honestly the only things I have to share with you today. I do have plans. I don't know if you can see behind me. Hold on, honey. Time does not exist for her, you know? Like, she doesn't know, like, 1 minute from 10 minutes. I have a big pile behind me. A big pile. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Wrapping this up. That's what we're doing. I have a big pile behind me of frog it or finish it items that I've pulled. I have the outline. I am ready to record that episode whenever I get the chance. I am going to record that episode when my husband is home or someone is home to wrangle the children. That isn't me, because we're going to go deep into the timeline of my knitting and all these projects that I have just been holding on to because other things have come up that I've wanted to knit, and I've followed my passion for whatever the new shiny thing is that I need to knit instead of finishing everything that's in that pile back there. So we're gonna do that next. And with that, I will talk about new things that I want to work on. Potentially a cardigan for my husband, if you know, you know, and some mittens for me, and a t-shirt or another cardigan for me. So that's what we're going to talk about next time on this podcast. I hope to finish that in a couple weeks. All right. Cheers, everyone. I hope you enjoy your week, your day, your evening, wherever this video finds you. Again, my name is Sarah with Coffee Knits with Sarah. Thank you for watching this chaotic little video where I share all my current whips and projects and get interrupted by my toddler a million times. I'm gonna go now and catch you later. Okay, bye.